Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking and game-changing developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukraine has just delivered a devastating blow to Vladimir Putin's naval power, a strike so significant that it could reshape the entire balance of power in the Black Sea. Reports confirm that Ukraine has once again proven its ingenuity and determination, crippling Russia's once feared Black Sea fleet and sending shockwaves through Moscow. For months, Ukraine's military planners had been studying every movement, every pattern of Russia's naval forces. While the Kremlin boasted of dominance at sea, Ukraine quietly prepared an operation that would change everything. Late into the night, swarms of naval drones, accompanied by precision missile strikes, targeted multiple Russian warships docked near Sevastopol and Novorossiysk. Within minutes, chaos erupted. Explosions tore through the dark waters, lighting up the sky like a battlefield inferno. Eyewitness accounts describe a scene straight out of a war movie. Sirens blared, Russian sailors scrambled for cover, and communication lines went dead. Several warships, including the landing ship Caesar Kunikov and a patrol vessel, were hit with pinpoint accuracy. Satellite images released the following morning revealed thick plumes of black smoke rising from the harbor. The Black Sea, once a symbol of Russian strength, had turned into a graveyard of twisted metal and burning ships. This wasn't just another attack, it was a statement. Ukraine had evolved from defending its territory to taking the fight directly to Russia's military infrastructure. And for Putin, this was more than a tactical setback, it was a humiliation. The man who once promised that Russia's fleet would dominate the region now faces the reality that even his most advanced warships are vulnerable to Ukrainian innovation. Military experts say this marks the beginning of the end for Russia's naval presence in the Black Sea. Ukraine's use of advanced sea drones, sleek, remote, controlled vessels packed with explosives has revolutionized modern warfare. Each drone costs a fraction of what a Russian warship does, yet the damage they cause is catastrophic. This strategy has effectively neutralized Russia's maritime advantage, forcing its ships to retreat farther from Ukrainian shores. The strategic implications are massive. Control of the Black Sea isn't just about military power. It's about trade, logistics, and supply routes. With Russia's fleet crippled, Ukraine can begin to secure its grain exports and challenge Russia's blockade. This gives Kiev a significant political and economic edge, something that could influence future peace talks and reshape Europe's security landscape. What's truly remarkable is how Ukraine has managed all this with limited resources. Using a combination of Western technology, local engineering talent, and intelligence support, Ukraine has turned the tide. These sea drones are small, fast, and deadly, capable of evading radar and striking with surgical precision. The message to Moscow is clear. Size and numbers no longer guarantee safety. Inside Russia, the reaction has been explosive. Kremlin-controlled media struggled to contain the fallout, initially denying the scale of damage. But leaked videos and eyewitness accounts made denial impossible. Russian social media exploded with outrage, and even pro-war bloggers began questioning the government's claims of control. The once proud Black Sea Fleet, which played a key role in annexing Crimea in 2014, now looks battered and directionless. Putin's military leadership is under immense pressure. Reports suggest that several high-ranking naval officers have been dismissed following the attack. Morale among Russian sailors is reportedly collapsing, with many refusing to board ships stationed near Ukrainian waters. It's not just a military defeat, it's a psychological one. For the first time, Russian servicemen are realizing that the sea is no longer their domain. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has hailed the operation as a major step toward reclaiming national sovereignty. In his nightly address, he thanked the armed forces for their heroic and precise actions, declaring that the Black Sea will never again be a place of Russian terror. His message was one of confidence and defiance, a reminder that Ukraine's fight isn't just about defense, but about liberation. Western allies have been quick to celebrate Ukraine's success. NATO officials praised Kyiv's creativity and resilience, calling the operation a textbook example of asymmetric warfare. In Washington and London, intelligence analysts are now studying Ukraine's tactics to adapt similar strategies for future conflicts. Ukraine has effectively rewritten the playbook for modern naval warfare, proving that even the most powerful fleets can be defeated with brains over brawn. The timing of this strike couldn't have been more crucial, as Russia prepares for another harsh winter and faces internal unrest. Losing its naval superiority adds to its growing list of problems. Economic sanctions, battlefield losses, and international isolation have already weakened Moscow. Now, the symbolic loss of its fleet shatters the myth of Russian invincibility. But let's take a closer look at the broader picture. The Black Sea has always been a geopolitical hotspot, a crucial artery for energy, trade, and security. Russia's control over this region allowed it to project power into the Mediterranean and beyond. With its fleet now decimated, that influence is rapidly eroding. Turkey, Romania, and Bulgaria are strengthening ties with NATO, and Ukraine's success only accelerates this shift. Even inside Crimea, the mood has changed. Residents who once cheered the Russian flag now fear for their safety as Ukrainian strikes grow bolder. Explosions, blackouts, and panic have become part of daily life. What was once a fortress Crimea now feels like a ticking time bomb. The Russian military is desperately relocating assets deeper into the peninsula, but every move exposes new vulnerabilities. Analysts believe that this could mark the start of Ukraine's campaign to completely isolate Crimea. By cutting off naval supply routes and targeting logistics centers, Kyiv could effectively trap Russian forces on the peninsula. If that happens, Russia's hold on Crimea, the crown jewel of Putin's expansion, could begin to crumble from within. Internationally, this victory has bolstered Ukraine's image. Nations that were once hesitant about providing advanced weapons are now reconsidering. It's proof that Ukrainian forces can effectively use any tool given to them, and that continued support will yield real, tangible results. It's also sending a powerful message to authoritarian regimes worldwide. Technology and courage can outmatch brute force and propaganda. The psychological impact of this event cannot be overstated. Putin built much of his power on the myth of military superiority. But the images of burning ships and defeated sailors have pierced that illusion. For the Russian public, who have endured years of state propaganda, this reality is hard to ignore. The mighty Russian Navy, a symbol of national pride, has been humbled by a smaller, determined nation. In the coming weeks, we can expect Russia to retaliate, perhaps through missile strikes or intensified aerial bombardments. But Ukraine's ability to strike back, especially in occupied territories, shows that Moscow's threats no longer carry the same weight. The Kremlin is fighting to maintain control of the narrative, but the world can see what's happening. Ukraine is winning the strategic war. This is more than just a military report, it's a turning point in history. The destruction of Russia's naval power represents a collapse of decades of military doctrine. It shows that wars are no longer won by the biggest fleets or the largest armies, but by adaptability, innovation, and willpower. Ukraine's success will be studied for generations as a masterclass in modern warfare. As the dust settles and the world watches, one thing is certain: the Black Sea will never be the same again. The age of Russian dominance at sea is over. Ukraine has proven that courage, intelligence, and unity can sink even the mightiest of empires. And that's the story of how a nation fighting for its survival turned the tide against one of the world's largest militaries. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on the war in Ukraine and global defense developments. Stay tuned, this story is far from over.